The other day I was catching up with my friend Tiffany. She owns her own design firm, and I was asking her questions because Scotty and I are looking to maybe sell our place in the near future and look for a little bit more space, which is exciting. That's totally other videos. But I was asking her, what are some smaller interventions that would increase the look, the price, the appeal to a buyer, or even what are some things that maybe someone who's renting a space could do to really make their space feel like them, but that they're not sinking their money into someone else's investment, if you know what I mean. And she had some great tips. Now I'm integrating a lot of my tips here as well, but let's get into 10 top things that you can do to your home right now that'll cost a little bit less, but raise the value. So number one, I know it sounds so cliche, but bear with me, is always something designers are going to tell you, and that's a fresh coat of paint. A fresh coat of paint can change so much about a room. It can open up a room, it can make it feel a little bit moody, a little bit cozy, or it could honestly just clean things up. Over time, we get fingerprints, we get stains, we get marks on the wall. When you put a fresh coat of paint on, it's truly a way to get the whole foundation of a room reset. I also want to talk about doing the trim. Something as simple as painting the doors and the trim in our place truly brightened things up. Sometimes we don't realize how much things fade or they start to yellow over time until you slap on a fresh coat of paint and the dust is gone, all the marks are gone. It truly makes your place feel like it's got a brand new vibe and a brand new life to it. Now on the other side of walls, sometimes when you're renting, you actually might be able to ask your landlord if you can paint, and that's something I did when I was living in my loft. If you guys have been here for some time, you know that I asked my landlord if I could paint the back of my door, not the one that was facing everyone else, but I asked him if I could do something as simple and as cost effective. I think it was around $20 and then all the accessories. This might have been a $40 project. A third part of walls within this first tip is actually wallpaper. If your landlord doesn't allow you to paint, or if you are looking to spruce up a room yourself and you do own the place, try a wall mural. These things have become so mainstream now. There are so many different companies. It's something that I did myself one day, all by myself. And it is intimidating, you do need time, but I worked with a new wall and I'm in the room right now. It's just to my right here, so I'm kind of looking at it, but it's this beautiful peach mural, and especially in the dead of winter, it just made me feel so good. It was like my own little slice of paradise, sitting under a tree on the couch, reading under some mood lighting. Number two, we're gonna talk about the jewelry of the home. Our doorknobs, oh my God, they are so dented. They were the classic brass doorknob, and I usually love gold features. We will talk about that in a moment's time, but these were just the really, really old kind. And then what we did as a cost-effective fix earlier when we were living here is we got a beautiful spray paint and we spray painted them outside. It was really cool. We took a Tim Hortons cup, flipped it over top, and then kind of pinned it inside and then spray painted them. And we spray painted them a dark chestnutty kind of black color with a bit of a sparkle in it. It wasn't as cheesy as it sounds, but over time, because of the material, it would wear off where we would use it the most. And it just got to the point where it was like, no, I think we would be best served just to replace these. DIY did help out for a bit if that's where your budget's at now. But I just recently bit the bullet and I purchased these doorknobs. They are so sleek, so modern, and just having the square backing, the matte black against the white door, it just has such a modern flair to it. As we continue on with the quote unquote jewelry of the home, hardware is another thing to consider. You can get cabinetry that is really cost effective, like we did our bathroom vanity from IKEA, and then instead of putting on the hardware that was supplied to us from IKEA, because I really do like the brass and gold kind of pieces around the house, those doorknobs excluded, I ended up buying these two pieces of hardware, and it just sets that piece off. It makes it look so much nicer than it would have if it was just the basic IKEA build. And maybe that's a little bit extra in your budget, so you use the basic one at first and then you add on your own hardware after. This is also something, as Scotty and I would look around our house and we have our list of things to do. In our kitchen, I 100% want to change the hardware in there as well. As we talk about black and brass and gold being kind of those signature features on top of white being the base of our house, and then some natural elements, we have silver hardware in there currently, and it just doesn't look cohesive with the rest of the house. So I know that I'm going to be changing up that hardware, and it's a really, really, really easy way for you guys as well to change up the look and the quality and maybe the luxury of your home. Number 4 is lighting. I talk about lighting a lot when you talk about the hygge side of things, and I will link up a video up above if you have no idea what I'm talking about on that side. It's a lot about coziness. And if you are someone who could maybe turn into a lighting architect of your own house, that is really, really good. We don't thrive under fluorescent lights. We all know that trope of being in the office and it's just like, okay, when is it time to go home? That lighting drains us. Up lighting, soft lighting, and lighting that sets a mood is something that's really cool. We love our hue lights so much because we can change the color. We got the Philips Hue light, we have the 2 bars, and then we also have the halo, not sponsored. And we also have actually the strip under our cabinets. And so we change the lights to that all the time. Sometimes I'll be riding the Peloton and I'll change it to like the energized light right beside me, or we'll be playing D&D and we'll change it to our characters' colors. It's such a cool way to change up the look of your house, and it really does make your house look a little bit more expensive. Another thing, Tiffany is a designer, she owns her own firm, and she's actually going to be featured on We Did a Podcast for our next episode. But we were talking about small interventions that you can make to your house, and she was like, Amanda, everyone has the boob light. I'll show it to you guys. You know, like you've seen these lights everywhere. But changing that light up, we have 3 of them and one in the hallway that I know I want to change up, so stay tuned. We were even testing one out today. If you are someone who is thinking, okay, Amanda, this all sounds well and good, but I have no idea what to pick, guys, just try things out. I've also been designing things in Canva. I'll show you guys that in a different video if you're interested. Comment down below. But how I really like to kind of plan out a room before I go out and buy pieces. This is something I've been learning throughout this year, specifically for designing my house and then also for my closet. I really want to be more intentional about my purchases instead of just going out, seeing something I like and being like, oh, I like that, I'll bring that home, without knowing that it goes with everything else. You can choose something like this light, for example. We didn't end up actually going with it. We really liked it. It was just too big for the space. And sadly, even though I had been dreaming about having that light in that space for some time, even myself, who has loved designing for a long time, you still have to try things out and see if they work. Don't be intimidated by that. Just always know the return policy and give it a go. When I was talking to Tiffany before, she rents her place downtown Toronto with her fiance, and her place looks stunning. But there are a few things that she's done to that place that she's gonna take with her, and this is a hot tip for renters, or even someone who plans to sell their house and they really want to start investing in pieces, but they don't want to see them be left behind when they leave. So what you can do is you can buy a beautiful feature light, like this one, for example, in our bathroom. And then you have the standard light that kind of came with the place, and you can switch that out when you leave. So if you do invest in a really beautiful feature, especially if you're renting, it's different if you are selling, because if people see things on the wall, like a light, or a fixture or something like that, they expect it to be there when they buy the place. But if you are renting, you can 100% budget and save up for a really beautiful light fixture, completely change that space, but don't throw away the old one. Because you know what? When you leave, you're taking that new one with you and you're popping that old builder basic right back on that wall. Let's talk about natural elements. When it comes to your basic scrubby brush, take away the plastic one and bring in a natural one. That's going to be better for the environment as well, because it will biodegrade over time, and it's just gonna look so beautiful up by your sink. This is such an underrated tip, but it really shouldn't be. I know we often talk about when you're designing a place, adding things in, adding these elements, but think about this. A lot of times a luxury look or a place refresh or making something look more desirable, it's actually about taking things away. When designers stage a place, it's all about that, negative space, allowing a room to breathe without cluttering it up with too much stuff. So consider, if you are wanting to refresh your space, take some stuff out of it. I spoke about this a little bit earlier. I really love a cohesive feel, a flow throughout a house. Now, that's not to say that every single room has to look the same, but even if it has some cohesion inside of the room, that's cool. There are some little touches around the house that I love to have the same. We were talking about metallic features. I just really love a brushed gold. I think it adds some modern pieces. So if you look behind me, those frames, They're gold. I got them from Michael's for $10 each. They were on sale. So even something as luxury looking as that does not have to break the bank. As well behind me, those are jewelry boxes. Here, I'll show you. These little jewelry boxes, I got these from HomeSense actually, and I just think they're so beautiful. One of my favorite tips when it comes to storage, and these candlesticks, aren't they so beautiful? One of my favorite tips when it comes to storage is if you have something beautiful, like that necklace, for example, put it on display in a storage container. That's basically what I'm doing right there, because then it's almost as if that necklace serves two purposes: to decorate me and to decorate my space. So what I have done specifically is, I'll show you a few of them. I've added little gold touches throughout our house. Though it may not dominate the room, it pulls the whole place together. Number 8, to add some beauty, to add some luxury, to add some appeal on a budget to your house, is to add plants. Plants not only give us beautiful air and they are great companions, they remind us to take care of ourselves, drink water, a little tender love and care, a little sunlight, but they also add structure. Consider when you are buying a plant to add a little bit of architecture to your place. They can add height, they can add texture, they can add feel, they can add color. I will link up my video up above on what plants I think maybe you should consider, especially if you are first time kind of dipping your toes in the houseplant scene. 2 last things, and very simple. This is adding things back into your space and really making intentional purchases work for you. And I'm talking about texture. Whether it be bringing a hallway alive with a runner rug, or maybe getting a really cute laundry basket. It doesn't have to be so utilitarian all the time. Or just adding a nice throw or a pillow. But don't go crazy. I see you, because I am you. I have a lot of pillows. Just adding in these pieces that can really make a space look comforting and inviting will 100% make someone who's buying a house believe that they could be comfortable there too, or if you are living there, can just make you feel a little bit more comfortable in your space. It's also a great way to add personality and really bring your own look to your home. Last but not least, we've talked about painting the walls. We've talked about maybe wallpapering the walls. I probably wouldn't do this on the wallpaper, but I don't know, you do you, go crazy. Put things up on the walls, okay? You've been waiting some time. You've been like, I'll get to that later. If you add a mirror to a wall, it's gonna make a room look bigger. If you add frames to a wall, it's gonna make it look like that place is lived in. And if you are looking to sell your place, I know that they do have some tips realtor-wise where you don't want to have too many family photos all over the place, but you can add some simple artwork to really make that space sing. I really like going to Desenio to take a look, but I know that there are a ton of other places you can find artwork that may be a little bit closer. Just look around and start intentionally looking at a space, having it on your list, and think, I'm gonna add something there, measuring it out, and then going shopping. So those are my 10 tips on how to add a little bit of luxury, a little appeal, raising the bar to your house, raising the value, and just raising the you in your space. I hope you guys liked this video. A lot more home design videos to come and intentional wardrobe videos to come as well. This channel has gotten a little bit of a revamp after taking some time and really thinking about what I want to post here. I love you guys so much. Thanks for sticking around this long, and I hope I see you in my next video. If you do try one of these tips, please let me know, and if you post it on Instagram, @belowtheblonde is my handle. I would love to see how you change it. Even if you have a little story, like yesterday I was storying about my doorknobs, because I'm an adult now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.